Howdy ho, people. Ben coming at you again with another Linux shenanigan. This time, I'm coming to you about my MacBook Pro. And I've gone to a couple of people about this, trying to figure out a good Linux distro for my MacBook. I've heard Fedora, but I personally have tried Fedora. I don't really like it. Unfortunately, RPM distros for me, no, not going to lie, are not the best option. I have tried them. I personally just don't understand the package manager. It was not very easy for me, so not doing that. Same with SUSE and other RPM distros. I'm just not going to go down that road. And I don't mind trying Gentoo, Arch, Ubuntu, something along those lines. Anything but Slackware or RPM based or LFS, I am not going down those roads. So if anyone can suggest something that around that area, I will try that. No, I've gone to the Arch Wiki and the Gentoo Wiki and Ubuntu, things like that. And unfortunately, the MacBook documentation they have, it's from what I found, it's just not very intuitive or good on how to get the thing properly and fully configured. And the Gentoo guide is far less, at least from what I've seen, in getting the MacBook set up versus Arch. Now, the main problem I'm having is one, the webcam, the Wi-Fi staying connected, and the high DPI screen, and changing the graphics between NVIDIA and Intel. Now, I am a gamer, so I am going to want to use the NVIDIA proprietary drivers and also be able to switch to the Intel if possible, because it's not an Optimus chip. It's a GMUX chip that Apple proprietarily uses, and I just can't find a way to get that to work. Now, if I have to use Nouveau, so what? But I've heard Nouveau is not very good for gaming, so I would like to avoid that if possible. But if I can't, it's okay. So yeah, if anyone out there can help me with these things and in the installation on my Mac, that would be nice, because, I mean, I don't know that much about installing Linux on a Mac whatsoever, to be perfectly honest. And I am just really struggling to find any sort of decent documentation and any sort of person who knows how to put Linux on a Mac that'll help me. So yeah, kind of in a sticky situation, you might say. So, and while we're on the subject, this here is the MacBook that I'm dealing with. And, you know, it's just been a complete freaking nightmare trying to get Linux on it. So, yeah. It's just one of those crazy pieces of hardware, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, I mean, I've read, the wiki on, Arch and Gentoo and other places how to, install, Arch and Gentoo and other things on a Mac. But unfortunately, I'm just not grasping it, and I just can't find a decent distro that will help fix all four of those issues. So I don't know. And I've gone to like different GitHubs and what have you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I hate to have to put Windows on it or something, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, and all the, GitHub and other places I've seen all point to the Intel and then AMD setups, just not what's in my MacBook. I have an NVIDIA, so really kind of a pain, you might say. Doesn't really tell me a whole lot. So I don't know. So yeah, if there's a way anybody can help me out, that would be very nice. I don't know. Wow, nobody has shown up yet? What the hell? Well, then again, it is Sunday night, so people must be busy. I don't know. Let's see if I can get up buffers. Oh. Hey, Joe. Good to see you, buddy. How you doing? As you can tell by the title, Joe, Linux MacBook woes going on, man. And Joe, if you'd like to jump on and have a conversation, if you're available, there's the stream link. If you want to jump on and talk for a little bit, go ahead. Yeah, just this is kind of an impromptu live stream where I'm just rambling on about installing Linux on my MacBook and how well it's not going. Yeah. All right, Joe, go ahead. I'll be right back. I'm going to take these ranch Pringles down. Hold on. Be right back. Be right back. All right, Joe, let me let you in. Hold on. Okay. Let me grab this. What's up, Joe?
How are you?
Doing okay. Just trying to where's my MacBook go? Oh, right here. See, I've got this 2013 15-inch MacBook, and as I said at the beginning of the show, I've tried, Gen 2, Arch, plenty of different distros on it, even some Ubuntu basis. Excuse me, just had some dinner come down. But anyway, the thing that I'm mostly having the problem with is the Broadcom Wi-Fi, the switchable graphics, which is a GMUX chip, not Optimus.
Yeah.
So you see, it's a very strange piece of hardware, and I can't even get the freaking webcam working. I can't get, the switchable graphics. I mean, it's just being a real pain in the butt. And I've gone to the Arch wikis, the Gen 2 wikis, the Ubuntu forums, etc. I can't find a darn thing of to tell me how to get these things working properly.
So you got it. You were able to get Linux actually installed, but not getting the hardware.
Not getting most of the hardware working because,
Okay.
Now I did install the Broadcom WL driver, but the problem is that driver is very finicky. And I tried the open source driver, didn't work so hot. So I am trying my best to find a distro that won't give me all this hell, and I just don't know what to do.
So you were able to install it via USB flash, right? Flash drive.
Yes, because this MacBook does not have, well, it has macOS on it right now, but I don't mind putting Linux back on it. However, I don't want it to be half-baked like I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Because that's not going to be a pleasant experience. And I know Barb from Big Daddy Linux, she has gone through a similar experience and said she used Ubuntu Mate on it on her MacBook, but again, this has a high DPI display as well, so it's not exactly good with like XFCE or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't have a lot of experience with that, other than my son had a MacBook Pro
that
I think it was a 2012. I don't remember if it was early or late version.
That's prior to the only MacBook Pro that had a Retina display was the one that came out during the Mountain Lion conference, and there was a MacBook Retina that had come out at that time, but the 2012 that I had was a non-Retina model. Now this is 1 year up from that. And that was around the time that they started using the Retina screens in their Pros.
The only thing I was going to say about my experience with it, with that particular machine, and this might sound very bizarre.
Yes.
But I tried, I don't know how many distros to try to get them installed with a USB flash drive, couldn't do it. And then finally, just for, you know what and giggles, I thought, let me just, because I don't even remember if that particular machine had a DVD in it or not. But
hold on. The machine that I've got doesn't have an optical drive in it, and I don't have a USB super drive to use right now.
Right, and that's why I was going to say I wound up just digging out a DVD, burning a DVD, and believe it or not, I was able to get Mint to install and actually run. I don't think it ran well, but it ran. I shouldn't say it didn't run well. It seemed like it took a while to boot up. It ran okay once it got booted up. It just seemed like it took forever to boot it up.
So you can understand the suffering that I'm going through trying to get back to run Linux.
What's really strange when you think about it, though, other than I could see, Linux with, of course, the usual complaints of some of the hardware support, but the reality of it is when you think about the file system between that and the Mac file system, they're basically identical. It's just
the hardware exactly. Support. They're just not what they are cut out to be. But I mean, I've gone to JB Live and a bunch of other people seeing what all their experiences was, and they said they recommended Fedora to me, and I'm like, Fedora? What? I mean,
well, yeah, but you know what? That doesn't sound completely out of line, because they were just talking about that on Destination Linux today, and talking about how, like, even with a lot of the newer hardware, that Fedora has the support right out of the box for like the 6800 XT, or whatever.
So they really get the latest features at the top of the game.
Yeah, so it might be worth a shot in the dark,
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just not used to the Fedora baseline. That's all.
Yeah, well,
I was on Steve's chat earlier, Steve's very own, and I was saying, "Oh, Mitchell, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, I've tried. Hold on, Mitchell, let me type it for you. It's a MacBook Pro 2013. Yeah, Lamer, if you're good to jump on with Joe and I for a little bit, feel free. We're just shooting the breeze here, talking about Linux on a MacBook. So
yeah, like I said, that's not my strong suit there, but I was just curious. But the thing is, like I said, I was surprised to hear, like I said, even with the new released hardware, that they were raving about how Fedora out of the box was able to run a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, well, I might chuck Fedora Mate or something like that on it, because I tried their KDE release on it of 34 when it was still in testing, and I was not able to move the cursor very well. It was buggy.
Yeah.
it would crash when it would lock up and crash when I try and install it, even with Ethernet. And I was like, okay, this is a bit effed up. So yeah, I might download a Fedora KDE or Mate or something like that and give that a shot on it just to see how far it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Mitchell, before I do that, if you have any like ideas or whatever, I'm open to trying. You know?
That's always been a challenge. It's very strange with when it comes to Macs because they're hit or miss. It seems like you can have some that it's almost like they jump over. You know, how do I say that? You can have an older one that you can't do anything with it. Then all of a sudden you find, the next generation you can, and then it does again.
Hold on. Hey, Lamer, can you link that in Discord? Because unfortunately here in StreamYard doesn't let me copy paste that into the browser. But yeah, I never came across that link in Google. Never. So I don't know where he found it, but thank you, Lamer.
Oh, he got one for you.
Yeah, he found an Arch thing there for me. Cool.
It's just a matter of asking the right people.
Idea, I guess. Yeah. I'm glad to have friends who know Linux.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we don't all know. I got on because I just figured, hey, if nothing else, could chat a little bit and
cool.
some of the stress off.
But yeah,
we don't always know everything about everything.
Another thing that I wanted to talk about was I got this. I have an HP ProBook here that is a Sandy Bridge model, and I got this 1080p screen panel sitting here, and I have. Thank you, Lamer. Yeah, DuckDuckGo for the win, man. But yeah, that screen, it's supposed to be a very good screen. Unfortunately, it's a glossy screen, but hey, screen's a screen to me. So I bought $83 LVDS cable to go with it because the guy who was selling it I couldn't convince to a lower price. But yeah, that should be here on Wednesday, and my dad's going to help me install that screen in. Ugh. In a slightly better place.
Yeah, I'm glancing over this link that Lamer put in there, and I'm looking at, and they're talking specifically about the Retina display and talking about how it might screw up slightly, but that the problem is the resolution is too high, which is interesting when you think about it.
Yeah, because if you run, say, XFCE or LXDE or something like that, it's not good for high DPIs.
That's something, and believe it or not, Zeb jumped into Destination Links today, which I thought was fantastic. I hadn't seen him in so long, and he kind of said the same thing, and I agree with him. This is 2021. It's like, you'd think that we would have made that kind of advancements at least, but
oops, I did not mean to flip our cameras around. Okay, but yeah, Lamer, can you drop that link to me on Discord, please, buddy? Yeah, because I tried to click on it in the stream chat and it didn't let me. Let me see. Guess.
That's interesting. I was able to click on it just fine. I'm surprised.
Yeah, it's not letting me. Yeah, it only allows me to click hide or put user in timeout or something. And okay, let me close that. Yeah, I'll just I'll type it in. Arch MacBook Pro 2013. See. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Lane.
I like his answer. He says, "I know Linux?" ? Yes, I'm good at DuckDuckGoing. Yeah. Well, that's about what I would do too. But
yeah, he sent me 2 links actually. Awesome. Okay, so oops. I did not mean to do that. Garuda on the 2013 MacBook. Ooh. Let's see. All right. So he's using MacBook Pro. He's running GNOME desktop, XFS, full disk encryption. Okay. So he got suspending works just fine, yada yada yada. He's got 6 hours on the battery. Cool.
Yeah.
Screen resolution.
How much RAM you have in that one?
Yeah. 16 gigs of RAM.
Wow. Yeah, and you got double what this guy's talking about then.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just how much it came with, man. Let me do. Sorry, I also got a game going on my other screen. But yeah,
right.
but yeah, I will definitely try what Lamer suggested with because I've got Calam Arch on my it's a GUI installer for plain Arch Linux, and I'm actually thinking of I might try that Lamer Garuda and just see how that goes. And I know they have KDE on there.
Yeah, that was another one mentioned today too. Was
Yeah,
Garuda.
Garuda. Yeah. That's funny, Mitchell. But yeah, I'll
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about that too, which I have never tried. Again, like I said, that is probably the weakest point of anything about Linux. I mean, I've messed with all kinds of stuff with Linux, and I've only had one machine I've ever done it with. But it makes you wonder if because you can use Boot Camp to run Windows.
Yeah.
If anybody ever tried that once with it too. Now that Mitchell's mentioning that, that's kind of strange. I think when I was trying to do it, you know how it brings up the different drives that it sees,
right?
It would show up just as the drive name itself, or the type, I should say. I don't think it showed anything else about it.
Yeah.
But it took me forever to try. And then, like I said, I just, for whatever reason, I just thought, why don't I just try a DVD?
Yeah.
And it worked. It was, I couldn't get anything to install USB. But again, that was, 2012. So.
Yeah. I mean, if I still.
Oh, Lamer sent you the search results.
He sent me a lot of links. Yeah. Well, I will try Calam Arch, which is sort of a vanilla Arch installer just with Calamares. And if that proves bad, then I will try Garuda and see how that goes.
Well, and worst comes to worst, if you give stab at Fedora too, if that doesn't work, but
Yeah. I will I mean, Fedora doesn't seem that bad. It's just I want I like Arch. I'm familiar with Arch. And I just, I need something that I know versus having to, jump through hoops to get to work.
And that's, that's the one thing. I've been on Manjaro a year now. And the one thing is they take their time to test everything. Everybody was talking about how, all rolling releases are always breaking. And, knock on wood, and I don't want to jinx myself, but this has not broke in a year. The only time that it broke before that was when I messed, like always, when I messed with something I wasn't supposed to.
All right. Well, I'm going to, let's see, where's my etcher at? Yeah, I'm just writing the USB of Arch Calam with etcher just to see how far that goes. And what I'm glad about it is that, well, thankfully for me, where's my, lucky for me, I have a Ethernet to this to
USB-C?
Ethernet to no, it's not USB-C. It's a Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt. I would say, yeah.
Yeah, because this will allow me to download certain Wi-Fi drivers and graphics drivers while installing Arch. So that's good.
Yeah.
So that's and
well, that's cool.
Cow. Yeah, fractional scaling. Yeah.
Yeah, he said he tried the Arch Wiki.
Yeah, that's good. Holy cow. Yeah. So he's got NVIDIA proprietary drivers. So he says, so this guy says you may be tempted to use the proprietary GPU. Don't do it. It could be the recent AUR failure, server codes, the drivers to be outdated, or maybe existing ones. Existing issues with the GPU and the 2030 MacBook Pro are just not worked out. But either way, if you install the NVIDIA drivers, as of today, you'll find that you are back in the situation of not being able to boot into your login screen. Fortunately for me, because of the working snapshot was already taken automatically, and all I had to do was restore it, and I was back in business. So yeah.
Yeah, the other thing you're talking about in this first thread that he linked was the Wi-Fi, because you mentioned Broadcom specifically, and he mentions a few packages from the AUR get the broad chip working. So Broadcom chip.
Yeah. It says here in Garuda, at least, he says it says here to boot Garuda with Radeon mode set and Nuvu mode set to 0. So that way it'll boot. So
yeah, Mitchell, I did the same thing. I got it running Mint exactly too on a 2012 that my son had, MacBook Pro, but this one I guess is different with the Retina display.
Yeah.
He's talking about
Debian edition is what he said.
Yeah.
Okay. With Refind. Yeah. The only thing I don't like about Refind is the fact that a Dell XPS 13 is what this guy looked into doing. Huh. This guy said, who installed Arch on there, he said he also tried running FreeBSD, and if it doesn't work, ZFS, yada, yada, yada. He said he's thinking about going back to a ThinkPad X or a Dell XPS 13. Yeah, Mitchell, it's a Retina screen, so unfortunately, XFCE or something along those lines would not be a viable option.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll try Arch with GNOME on it, see how far I get, or KDE, one of the two. Let's see.
Well, I guess, Ben, where there's a will, there's a way. It's just how many toothpicks you're willing to put on your fingernails.
That's too funny. Yeah. So I will try either Garuda or stock Arch to see where it goes. So let's see. See here. I just got it. Oh, did I not install Picture? How did I do? Guess not. But yeah, tomorrow I have a Voc rehab call in the morning, and then going to help my sister out with her help my sister's boss out with a laptop. It's an all-in-one. It's a what you call it? It's a Microsoft Surface Pro, and he needs Windows 10 reinstalled on it. I tried to offer him Linux. It didn't go very well. So yeah, I also have to burn a Windows flash drive to it, unfortunately. So, yeah.
What year is the Surface Pro?
Is the Surface? Not sure, but they're using it for their work. So it's just one of those unfortunate things where they're stuck in a Microsoft environment.
Yeah.
Because they rely on Office and things like that in order for it to run.
Sure.
So yeah, it's just one of those things where they can't really do that kind of stuff. Yeah. I'm going to go look at Garuda real quick. Garuda Linux.
Blamer's talking about how he's running basically a stripped down version of
Garuda. Yeah. And it looks like they have KDE, XFCE, GNOME, LXQT with KWin, and a bunch of window managers. Oh, man. And they use the Calamares installer. Awesome. And I got a Garuda settings manager. This is cool. So we want...
I don't remember if I've ever looked at that or not. I might have just glanced at it.
Yeah, it looks It looks very promising. Let's see. Let me see. Downloads. I'm gonna go with the Dragonized edition. What the? I don't even know what all these silly editions are. There's a Dragonized Gaming Edition, Black Arch Edition, Jeepers Creepers. Oh man!
Wow.
I guess KDE is their flagship here. Oh, and the GNOME version has the Prime Render offloader for Optimus cards. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, UTK win.
Yeah, they got a crap ton, man.
Yeah, Wayfire is Wayland. Qtop. Holy cow! It's like, how do you maintain all of that? Almost reminds me of Eric Dubois with Arco.
Arco Linux.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and this is funny. The KDE version looks just like a Mac.
Doesn't it though? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the version I'm going to go with because it looks so much like a macOS clone. And I kind of like that. I'm going to go with the Dragonized Black Arch version. Heck with it. All right. Let's install that. Yeah, and then I'll just follow the link that Lamer said to get it working with everything that I'm using. Because, I mean, it's a simple Bang Calamares installer. Yeah. Yeah. It's 6.2 gigs for this ISO? What the hell?
Oh, man.
That is huge.
Yeah, it is. It makes me wonder what the resources are going to be when it's running.
Yeah, let's see.
But you know what? If it works, and
no problem.
I mean, you said you got a strong enough
Okay,
machine.
so yeah, I'm downloading the plain Dragonized version because I think that'll work better. Yeah. I'm not going with the hack testing version, Lamer. I'm just going with their main ISO Dragonized version.
I think I'm gonna have to throw those in a virtual machine and see what they look
like.
Yeah,
it looks very promising. I will say that. And yeah, I mean, it looks so easy to get it configured. Let me see. I want to go to Starport. If you're wondering the game I'm playing, it's Star Wars Galaxies. It's unfortunately you don't have a Jedi by default on this one.
Are we playing it on Steam or on?
No, it's a private server.
Oh,
it used to be on Steam, but it's long deprecated, so I'm playing on a private server. And I've got to figure out how to make it work in Linux because they have SOD Legends, which works in Linux, and it's WG Prophecy, but they don't have the server I'm playing on, Technology Republic, where it's they got their own custom installer, launcher, etc. So they don't have a Linux client for it, and I've tested it under Wine. You have to pre-patch it in Windows before it'll actually run in Linux.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those, unfortunately. So.
Well, I got hooked on Farming Sim 19, and so is my grandson, and it's like that seems to be the majority of what I play now.
Oh,
and that runs. I'm running that on Linux. It's been running beautiful. I mean, it runs fantastic.
Well, luckily, my SWOTOR is runnable on Linux because it's got Steam support now, so it's not as bad as most things. So. That's my Mac flash drive.
Go for it, Mitchell. Install it.
This is my 16. This is my 16 gig flash drive I got sitting here. I'm gonna try and get this to load up. Yeah. Looks like I'm gonna have to download the Garuda on my HP laptop. Sitting here, Garuda.
Yeah, I've got Pop OS on my test laptop. I put the 2104, which I really like. I think it's really, really nice, but maybe I'll have to try Garuda on there too.
Yeah, Garuda has, I've seen, a couple of friends, right, like TJ and, a couple of other people. Even, I've seen some people do some fantastic things with it. I mean, so hopefully this will be not so pain in the ass to use. I have to repair my swoop.
Is it me though, or does it seem like more distros are starting to adopt the KDE?
Yeah, I guess they are, man, because they're just. I guess KDE is just becoming the highlight desktop now. I mean, from what I've heard, it's lighter than XFCE even now.
Well, and that's what I'm on right now on Manjaro. So I'm on the KDE version. So, and I've loved it.
I mean, I'm just not a. I'm not a. Oh, that's cool, Lamer. Yeah, I might install it with ButterFS just to see how far I get along. Because I mean, if it does make snapshots like every time I make a change, then who's to say I'm going to go back to ext4 anytime soon? I mean,
yeah, the guys were talking about that too. The restore, going back to
restore points,
reverting back,
yeah, because I mean, it seems fairly easy to use ButterFS. So, I mean, it seems like a very interesting file system if it's that good.
Which honestly, I don't know why more distros don't do that, where they have a
better, where they include ButterFS,
a restore point, of some sort, or
of some sort, whether it's Time Shift or some other utility where they can easily make a clone of their operating system and then just go right back to it.
Right.
I mean, I think that's a very clever thing, to have a snapshot of your operating system. Because I mean, who wants to sit there and just rebuild everything over and over again? Because I mean, that would drive anybody nuts.
Yeah, and trying to remember everything you have in and the tweaks you've made, and
and et cetera. Yeah, I mean, I just can't fathom, having to, re-add all your, for example, your Ubuntu PBAs, your Arch repos, your et cetera, and then all your programs, the whole shebang. Oh, man. Can you talk about a drag or what?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm glad that this distro, Ubuntu uses ZFS. Yeah, I'm not much familiar with ZFS, Lamer, to be perfectly realistic. But yeah, I am. If this fails, then I might try Ubuntu with ZFS and see how that goes with one of their spins of that. I might download also Ubuntu with GNOME and see how far I get with that too, just to play with it. Or either that or maybe KDE. I don't know, Ubuntu, something like that.
Well, if you were going to do that with Ubuntu, then I'd say you should go to Pop, because I think Pop has better hardware support. Yeah, I think it has better hardware support. Yeah.
I might try the. I'm going to try. I'm going to try Garuda, and then I'm also going to download Pop OS 2104 and see how that runs.
Yeah, because they actually have made some changes in there now, where they've got the the center dock on the bottom and things like that if you want.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is, about their installer, they give you the option to invite, if you were inclined to install NVIDIA drivers, you can either do that or not. So.
Yeah, and that guy in the Arch post with Garuda was saying, do not install the NVIDIA drivers. I understand that, because, I mean, he said the MacBook's card is very old. It's a 750M.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah. So I'm probably better off just not installing the NVIDIA card drivers.
The only thing I will say, and I don't believe I haven't heard much about it lately, but Pop was always notorious for basically if you were trying to dual boot where it would basically take over your bootloader and stuff. So you
Yeah.
don't want to trash your other system, then you should probably install it on a clean drive.
Yeah. Well, I'm honestly not that worried about macOS because I don't like the direction that Apple is going in right now. So, I mean,
Well, and you could always download it again too, I suppose.
yeah,
But
exactly. I could, download Big Sur or Monterey if I have to. And
yeah,
I mean, the only Apple mobile device I have right now is my iPad, and I can always, because this tower is running Windows at the moment, and I can always manage my iPad through that. Or I know there's some Linux tools out there that I can look into that have iPad support, so I'm not that worried about that. So, I mean, and plus, I can always run like macOS on a PC laptop or something else, if I have to, or just reinstall macOS in a dual boot. So, that's no big deal. So, and I can just like make maybe an 80 gig or a 100 gig, partition for my Mac OS because I've got a 500 gig SSD in that MacBook. So it shouldn't be a problem to reinstall Mac OS on a small partition if I need to manage that. So,
no, I wouldn't think so.
yeah. But yeah, I think we've found me a solution. So I think we're gonna go ahead and call the stream here, Joe. Thanks for jumping
Sounds
on.
good. I was glad I could keep you company at least.
No worries. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you to Lamer and everybody else and Mitchell and all those who gave me suggestions. And I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.
Take care, man. Bye.
Later.